If you have visited first time on this channel, so please like, share, and subscribe. Listen and repeat after me. I was so excited when my mom told me we were going to the mall. The mall is one of my favorite places. There's always something new to see and do. But today, I had only one thing on my mind. Ice cream. The thought of a big, delicious ice cream cone made me smile. I could already taste the creamy sweetness. My mouth watered just thinking about it. We walked through the mall's large entrance. The cool air from the AC felt good on my skin. The mall was busy with people shopping and talking. My mom held my hand as we walked through the crowds. But my eyes were on the prize, the ice cream shop. I spotted it just up ahead. The bright colors of the shop made it easy to see. My mom said I could choose any flavor I wanted. I couldn't wait to pick my favorite, strawberry. The line wasn't too long, so I didn't have to wait much. I watched as the worker scooped the ice cream. She placed it in a crispy cone and handed it to me. I held the cone carefully, not wanting to drop it. The coldness of the ice cream felt nice in my hand. I took a big lick. It was as good as I imagined, sweet and refreshing. My mom smiled at me, happy that I was happy. We started walking again, heading toward the toy store. But then, something terrible happened. I felt a tap on my shoulder. I turned around quickly, but no one was there. Just as I turned back, a group of kids bumped into me. My cone wobbled in my hand. I tried to steady it, but it was too late. The ice cream toppled off the cone and fell to the ground. I stared at it in shock. My beautiful, delicious ice cream was gone. I couldn't believe it. My mom looked at me with concern. "Are you okay?" she asked. But all I could do was stare at the melting mess. Tears filled my eyes. My perfect day was ruined. My mom knelt down beside me. "It's just ice cream," she said gently. "We can get another one." But I shook my head. It wouldn't be the same. That ice cream was special. It was my ice cream. I couldn't just replace it. I felt a determination rise inside me. I had to find another cone just like it. My mom saw the look in my eyes. "Do you want to get another one?" she asked. I nodded, wiping away my tears. "Let's go find it," I said, determined. So we set off on our quest. We walked back toward the ice cream shop. But when we got there, the line was much longer. I sighed, feeling frustrated. We didn't have time to wait. "Maybe another shop has it," I suggested. My mom smiled and agreed. We started walking through the mall again. We passed by different stores, but none of them had ice cream. My heart sank a little with each step. I was starting to lose hope. But I didn't give up. I couldn't give up. We turned a corner, and I spotted something promising. A small shop with colorful signs. My mom noticed it too. "Let's check it out," she said. We walked up to the shop. It had all kinds of treats. But no ice cream. I felt the tears coming back. My mom noticed and hugged me. "It's okay, we'll find it," she reassured me. We kept walking. The mall seemed bigger now. I was getting tired, but I didn't want to stop. I had to find my ice cream. As we walked, I thought about how it felt to hold it. How it tasted. I missed it so much. We passed by a bookstore. I almost didn't notice it. But then I saw a small freezer inside. I pulled my mom's hand. "Look!" I pointed excitedly. She smiled and followed me in. I rushed over to the freezer. It had ice cream, but not in cones. My heart dropped. I wanted a cone. My mom could see how disappointed I was. "We can keep looking," she said softly. I nodded, determined to find it. We left the store and continued our quest. The mall seemed to stretch on forever. We walked past clothing stores, shoe stores, and even a pet shop. But no ice cream. I started to feel like maybe my ice cream was gone for good. But just as I was about to give up, something caught my eye. It was a small, hidden shop in the corner of the mall. The sign outside read, "The Sweet Spot." I tugged my mom's hand. "Let's try there," I said, my voice full of hope. We made our way to the shop. The door creaked as we opened it. Inside, the air was cool and sweet-smelling. There were all kinds of candies and chocolates lining the shelves. My eyes searched the room for any sign of ice cream. And then, I saw it. In the back of the shop, there was a small freezer. I ran over to it, my heart pounding. I opened the freezer door and peered inside. There were several flavors of ice cream, but no cones. My heart sank once again. I felt like crying, but I didn't want to give up. Just then, the shopkeeper, an old man with kind eyes, approached us. "Looking for something special?" he asked with a smile. I nodded, trying to hold back my tears. "I lost my ice cream cone," I explained. "And I've been looking for another one just like it." The old man nodded thoughtfully. "I see," he said, stroking his chin. "What flavor was it?" "Strawberry," I replied quietly. The old man smiled again. "I think I might have just what you need," he said. He walked over to a small door behind the counter. He opened it and disappeared inside. I waited anxiously, hoping he had what I was looking for. A few moments later, he returned with a small box in his hands. He placed it on the counter and opened it. Inside was a single, perfect strawberry ice cream cone. My eyes widened in surprise. "How did you find it?" I asked, amazed. The old man chuckled. "This shop is special," he said mysteriously. "It has a way of finding just what you need." I couldn't believe my luck. I looked up at my mom, who smiled and nodded. "Go ahead," she said. I carefully took the cone from the box. It felt just like the one I had lost. I took a tentative lick. It tasted even better than I remembered. I felt a wave of happiness wash over me. "Thank you," I said to the old man. He smiled and nodded. "Enjoy it," he said kindly. My mom paid for the cone, and we left the shop. As we walked out, I looked back over my shoulder. The shopkeeper waved at us, and I waved back. "That was amazing," I said to my mom. She smiled and nodded. "I'm glad we found it," she said. We continued our walk through the mall. But this time, I was holding my ice cream cone tightly. I didn't want to lose it again. We passed by the toy store, but I didn't feel like stopping anymore. All I wanted to do was enjoy my ice cream. We found a bench near the mall's big fountain. My mom and I sat down, and I took another big lick of my cone. The cool, sweet taste made me feel so happy. I looked at the fountain, watching the water dance. "This is the best ice cream ever," I said with a smile. My mom laughed softly. "It's because you worked so hard to find it," she said. I nodded, feeling proud of myself. Our quest had been long and tiring. But in the end, it was worth it. I realized that sometimes, the journey makes the reward even sweeter. As I sat there, I couldn't help but think about everything we had gone through. All the shops we visited, all the disappointment I felt, and then finally finding the perfect cone. It was like an adventure, a real quest. And just like in the stories, the hero always finds what they're looking for in the end. I guess today, I was the hero of my own story. My mom looked at me with a smile. "You know, sometimes losing something can lead to finding something even better," she said. I thought about that for a moment. She was right. If I hadn't lost my first ice cream, I would never have discovered the sweet spot. And I wouldn't have met the kind old man who made the day even more special. I felt a warm feeling inside, like everything had happened for a reason. I took another lick of my ice cream, savoring the flavor. "This really is the best day," I said happily. My mom nodded and patted my head. I'm glad you think so, she replied. We sat there for a while, just enjoying the moment. The fountain splashed in the background, and people walked by, busy with their own lives. But all that mattered to me was my ice cream and being with my mom. After a few more minutes, my ice cream was almost gone. I ate the last bite carefully, making sure not to drop any. The cone was crispy and sweet, just like it should be. I crunched it happily, feeling satisfied. All done? My mom asked with a smile. I nodded, licking my lips to catch the last bit of strawberry flavor. All done, I replied. Ready to go home? She asked. I thought about it for a second. The mall had been fun, but I was ready to go home. Yeah, let's go, I said, standing up from the bench. My mom took my hand, and we started walking back to the car. As we walked, I felt a sense of accomplishment. I had set out to find something special, and I didn't give up until I did. It wasn't just about the ice cream anymore. It was about the adventure we had together. As we walked through the mall's exit, I took one last look back. The bright lights, the shops, the people, it all seemed so much more magical now. I smiled, knowing I had a story to tell. A story about a quest, a mystery shop, and the best ice cream cone in the world. We got to the car, and I climbed into my seat. My mom buckled me in, and we drove off. The sun was setting, painting the sky with shades of pink and orange. I watched out the window, thinking about everything that had happened. Did you have fun today? My mom asked, glancing at me in the mirror. I nodded with a big smile. It was the best day ever, I said honestly. She smiled back at me. I'm glad, sweetheart, she replied. The drive home was peaceful. I felt tired but happy. The kind of tired that comes after a big adventure. As we pulled into our driveway, I yawned. My mom noticed and smiled. Looks like someone's ready for bed, she teased. I laughed softly. Maybe a little, I admitted. We got out of the car, and I followed my mom inside. The house felt warm and cozy after being in the big, bustling mall. I headed straight to my room to change into my pajamas. As I pulled on my favorite pajamas, I thought about the old man at the sweet spot. How did he know exactly what I wanted? It was like magic. I decided that tomorrow, I would draw a picture of the shop and the ice cream cone. I wanted to remember this day forever. After I changed, I climbed into bed. My mom came in to tuck me in, like she always does. Good night, sweetheart, she said, kissing my forehead. Good night, Mom, I replied, feeling sleepy. She turned off the light and closed the door partway. As I lay there in the dark, I couldn't stop thinking about the day. It was so much more than just getting ice cream. It was an adventure, a journey, and a memory I would keep forever.